Talk 1240.
I love NASCAR.
Welcome to the Art Beat of Chattanooga, where art lives, where we talk about all the wonderful aspects of the arts in Chattanooga and the city of Chattanooga. Encourage people to visit, live, join us here enjoying this really beautiful, beautiful city. I'm happy to be back. I've been out on special assignment for 2 weeks, and I appreciate Steve Disbro stepping in from Chattanooga Improv and running the show the first week. And the second week, I apologize, we just ran something else that wasn't art related. But we're back. I'm back. Jillian Collins, your host. I'm a local artist. Vanguard Artistry is my website. That's Vanguard Artistry. And I am an artist. I've been an artist my whole life, and it's my passion. I'm still a starving artist. I still have to work a full-time job. So y'all are welcome to look at my website and help me out with that. So, and I have a book that I've illustrated. We may share that along as we go. And in the background are some of my pieces. And a lot of times I tend not to share my work, but I brought it along. This is a series I was commissioned to do for a mural that was canceled by corporate. It was corporate people, they cut our creativity sometimes, but it ended up in an energetic series of a really different style for me. So I just kind of brought it along, and I make my guests, haul the pieces up here and show them if we talk about them. So this is Ryder Richards from Dallas, Texas. And I'm very excited to have Ryder here. He's here in relation to the ARC, which is the Artist Residency of Chattanooga. And it's a brand new program. And Adam Kirby's been the guest a few times on the show. And this is kind of his baby. I think it's tied in with the Swine Gallery, the Cinerama, and that wonderful eclectic movement that's going on there. And this is the first artist that we have coming into the ARC program, visiting Chattanooga, here to produce work, be provided of living space, and hopefully shown the wonders of Chattanooga while you're here. So if you would, Ryder, kind of introduce yourself and say hi to our listeners. This is AM Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You can see us on our website. We're feeding on YouTube. We run on Facebook. We'll post that later on. You can call and ask questions or talk. 423-800-8949. 423-800-8949. So thanks for joining us. And Ryder, just tell us your first, you've arrived here in Chattanooga. Is it your first time in Chattanooga? And how is it going?
Yes. It is my first time here in Chattanooga, and I arrived late Sunday night and immediately went to the Bitter Alibi. And
good choice.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, y'all have sort of a lot of great food, beer. I mean, it's really fantastic.
Yeah,
here.
There's not a beer shortage in Chattanooga.
No, not at all. And so yeah, I'm staying at this place called the En Route House, and it's sort of they call it alternative living. It's a little like a hostel, and it's kind of fun because you get to communicate with a lot of people that are coming through town. And I've only been here a few days, so of course one of the first things I did was go up to Lookout Mountain and had to check that out and see what that's all about. And a lot of this is sort of like research for me. So when I come into a city like this, or I do a residency, so Adam and Aaron have worked out this ARC residency where I have an entire month here. And during that time span, then what I'm going to do is look around at Chattanooga, see what's going on, and then usually I have a set of ideas that evolve from being here, and those ideas will be turned into art. So a lot of the work is probably going to be quasi-conceptual, but it will take the form of some drawings and some sculptures, but usually it'll have something to do with like the way the city functions.
Okay, Chattanooga is such an attraction to artists because of the bridges, the structure, the beauty, the river, the mountains. As an artist, I know every day when I'm driving anywhere, I'm painting in my head every minute or conceptualizing, adding to the repertoire of what's in my mind towards art. So it is a beautiful city. What's your basic style? Your quasi what did you say?
Oh, I don't know. Quasi-conceptual?
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just making up words.
Oh, good. Love it.
No,
Now we're going to do some improv.
Yeah, right. Let's see. So I ended up with a degree in painting, but I primarily do drawing and sculpture. And then at some point, I've been doing a lot of reading and sort of thinking more about things theoretically, right? So what ends up happening is I'm trying to communicate some sort of message through most of my work. And that message is usually based something around like power structures, like how power evolves within certain areas. And oftentimes it'll play into things like governmental institutions versus the individuals or citizens, right? So these kind of like paradigms that exist where both of them are feeding off of each other, both are causing each other problems. So these sort of paradoxes or juxtapositions that create tension. And I'm really interested in that sort of tension and what forms each group takes to sort of represent their power or their strength and how they identify within those communities. So, yeah.
So do you use is this abstract with your feeling this because of your composition, or are you using images?
I don't know. I know everything is derived from a certain level of feeling, but a lot of this for me is, it starts being, I would say, academic and therefore a lot of it's illustrative. So when I went to Lookout Mountain, I took a lot of photos while I was there. And the issue was I wasn't taking photos of the landscape, right? What I'm more interested in is the way that this is set up. So I went up on this like incline rail and they have these observation decks and you're supposed to look out and see everything. But on the observation decks, they have security cameras that are observing, right? And so I find these kind of like paradoxes to be quite fun. And it's also this sort of like strategic high ground, like the whole history of this area being based around having that high ground and using that for sort of like, early warning and sort of, military prowess and these kind of things.
Yeah, Signal Mountain, Lookout Mountain, these were used in the war, in the Civil War. These were major military points of signaling and scouting, all of it. And I have to encourage you, do not miss Signal Mountain. It is gorgeous, and it is their sister mountains, and they feel ignored if you don't see both of them.
Yeah,
so
okay.
make sure you see Lookout Mountain or Signal Mountain. It's absolutely beautiful as well. So very interesting concept. I love it. So I write poetry, and I'm hearing in you that your art is stimulated and flows from an intellectual thought process that you have, and then you also have the creative part where you're able to express what's going on inside of your mind, what you see in society.
Yes. And I think that's a big part of it, is wanting the work to communicate, right? Like have a sense of place and be able to communicate with people. And while emotions definitely fuel a lot of it, I really think that maybe the deepest emotion for me is this sort of sense of social justice, right? Like, and how we're navigating this in our society. But most of the work comes across as sort of like drawings or sculptures that are about very real things, things that are going on right now today.
I love that. I've got a Morris Mitchell, who's been on the show as well. He's about an 80-year-old artist. I consider him totally a modern master, leading the Renaissance right here in Chattanooga. We're leading the modern Renaissance with art. And I hear the same thing from a lot of other artists, Adam, myself, Mo, that where there's a political or emotional structure that pushes our art out of us, where we've got something to say, and without it being received, or without art lovers or people who do communicate with our work, it's sort of, the flow is stopped. We artists, we need to be seen. We need to talk about it. We do it so that people can react to it.
Yeah, I think that's a major component, is making sure that you are communicating with whatever that base is, right? So you could always just make work for yourself, and I'm completely fine with people that do. But I'm really excited about the idea that this is a community interaction, and there's an involvement here. And having a group of people in the city that are going to interact with you is great, right? And then we're hoping that eventually that spreads out to more and more people so that we can draw more people into these conversations. A lot of it seems to be about awareness and education, right? One of the things, I taught college for a while, and one of the things about education is the more you get people to invest in something and you teach them about how it works, the more they care and the more they become involved. So part of this might be an introduction to that, at least for my work, is bringing people out, having several events, and Adam and Aaron are really setting up lots of things for me to do while I'm here. And in each one of those, maybe people will get to know me a little bit better, get to know the work a little bit better, and also get a different reflection on how Chattanooga works from an outside perspective.
That's awesome. And how can our listeners follow you and the ARC through your events that they're setting up? Is there a website they can go to?
Oh yeah, there's Facebook events and things like that. ARC has a Facebook page, and then they've been posting events to that.
Yes.
And that's probably the easiest way. Of course, I think I also have a website, and I'm trying to post events on that. But
and what's your website?
It's ryderrichards.com.
ryderrichards.com, and I'm going to be checking that out because it sounds very interesting. So they can basically just go on Facebook and type in ARC of Chattanooga. Or
yeah, I think when I was doing it, I just put in ARC
Residents of
Chattanooga, and
yeah.
it popped up, and they've got really cool graphics and logos, and yeah, several events.
This particular group of people I met through the Townsend Atelier. I met Liz Campbell down there. And since I've met this group of young people in Chattanooga that you're involved with, I am very impressed, because when I first came on this conservative radio station and I'm an artist, they immediately think I'm a hippie. I'm not. I'm a gypsy princess. I mean, come on. But these young people in Chattanooga, you may perceive artists as these free-spirited people who are kind of flighty. These are serious businessmen, businesswomen, artists, and they're serious about moving in this community for art and for Chattanooga and beyond.
Right. And I've only been here a couple of days and have met so many people that are doing really exciting things. And almost all of it seems to be startup, and they're getting things off the ground and they're getting them moving, but they're taking over physical structures, right? They're taking over buildings, and they're programming things, and they're bringing people in. The fact that I'm here at all, that they brought in an artist from Dallas, means that it's not just Chattanooga centric, right?
Yes.
This is about having outside conversations as well. So I'm really quite thrilled to be here and be able to take part in that.
Well, we're thrilled to have you, and this program is amazing. I think I have to move out of Chattanooga so I can come back and take part in it because it's such a wonderful program. And, a lot of the things are startup, Ryder, but also there's a lot of things in place, like the In-Town Gallery Co-op that's been there since the 70s or earlier. So this new or younger group of people is bringing in sort of a breath of fresh air, new concepts. They want to be different. They want to bring things out that have been maybe set aside by a conservative community and ignored. Like I do some pretty out there work with nudes and a different concept that I don't share much because I have a bigger plan for it. So I'm kind of keeping it tight. But that's been an issue for galleries in downtown Chattanooga. They're not super comfortable with nudes. And for me, it makes me nuts because, what about Michelangelo? What about the masters? What about history? It's totally been accepted. I'm going to a drawing class of nudes this evening at the atelier. I mean, There's nothing bad about it. It's very reverent, and without the human figure, we can't really communicate the human condition. I can't.
Right. No, I completely understand that. And when I was teaching at college, I would of course teach life drawing, right? Yes. And it's an academic principle to work with the human body. It's very challenging to draw, and at some point, there's of course beauty in it, and it is. Once again, we all have bodies. And so this idea that these should somehow be like hidden from us or censored is really kind of interesting. But I used to live in Lubbock, Texas, which is far west Texas, and I ran 2 art galleries out there and had some wonderful shows that had to be, quote, censored because there was some sort of nudity in them, right? And I think a lot of it's just the society we're in at this point in time. And, there's people who get past it very easily, and there's other people who don't. And I don't know what exactly to do about that, but I don't think I'm trying to talk to everybody all the time with my work.
Yeah, art is such an individual, broad spectrum of what is produced and created and enjoyed. So, now you're talking about your art, and it sounds like you have a number of different styles. You use sculpture, painting, drawing. Do you find that to ever hinder you? I know when I try to submit to a gallery, they seem to want this like succinct look, and I have difficulty with that. I have so many styles, and I'm not going to be limited. I don't paint for someone. I paint from myself.
Yeah. No, I have several different styles, and I think at some point I started thinking that I just want to have an interesting life and make interesting work instead of relying on the work as an economic means, right? So I have other jobs that allow me to make money. And those jobs are great. And then what they do is sort of fuel my art career. And they allow me to make whatever I want, chase down any ideas I want, and do it in any style I want. And that way, I'm not really reliant on trying to have gallery relationships. And sometimes that's a fantastic thing to have a gallery relationship, but sometimes the economic side of it can, I think, really squash the creative side.
Yeah. It's challenging, the gallery scene and the scene of going out and setting up in a market or something. I personally have no desire to do that, and that may be a hindrance. Do you do that sort of thing? That's kind of a lot of work to go set up at art shows.
Yeah, no, I've sort of taken this. There was a point in time where I had a gallery and I was making a lot of very similar work, and at some point just decided that this was not only is it the work, there's always work in art, and we're working all the time. That's part of what we do. Is that cultural production is a lot of labor, and we're often doing it out of passion, and we're doing it because we love something or we want to say something, and so whenever you try to turn that into this like gallery thing, I'm not interested in that anymore.
Yeah.
And I think what ends up happening is there's work anyway, but the shows that I'm getting into now and the things I'm doing now are much more based around the ideas that I'm pitching rather than the product that I'm making.
Yes.
And so I've ended up kind of switching the conversation. Let's not talk about this as an object per se, or let's not talk about this as a sellable thing. Let's talk about this as a conversation,
a concept, an interaction type thing. And that's what I think is the powerful in art, and I guess in my mind, I have had trouble selling out to produce something very similar. I find it boring for myself to do it. Kudos and beauty to all of those who do. I'm not saying it's not wonderful, but we each as artists get to choose.
Yeah.
So that's a really wonderful thing. So you're here at the Arc, and you're staying in downtown Chattanooga from Dallas, Texas, Ryder Richards. And we're here on the Art Beat of Chattanooga on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. We have just a few minutes left of this segment, and it's gone so fast already. Is there anything you really have on your heart you want to share, or something that we haven't covered that you really feel you have to have a conversation about?
Oh, maybe not exactly right now. I'm still in this very absorbing phase, right? Like I'm just going around trying to absorb as much as I can about Chattanooga and participate in things. And that will go on for a period of time. And then I'm really going to lock myself into the studio and start making. And there's going to be a show at the end of the residency. So like, I think it's November 4th, November 5th.
Will that be at the Cinerama?
Yes, at the Swine Gallery inside, which is inside Cinerama.
Yes.
So yeah, which is right off Main Street. And so during that, I think that it'll be kind of fun to see where the work evolves from. Right now, I have no work. And in basically 3 weeks, I need to have an entire gallery full of work. So we're going to see how this comes out, how it plays out, how much work I get in, and sort of, I'm hoping a lot of it is a reflection on Chattanooga, but of course it will carry my own thoughts and ideas. And once again, all these things about like power. And I'm thinking a lot about this observation aspect.
Yeah.
So it's really stuck in my head right now. And we'll see if that bleeds into something interesting or not.
Well, considering that, you can look for the cameras that will take a picture of you driving at 55 miles an hour at 2 a.m. in the morning and send you a ticket in the mail. So see if you can pick those out. Yes, I've only gotten one, but it was like, there's the back of my car. Click, they took a picture, mail you a ticket for speeding. I'm like, really? So see if you can pick those out. Those might be of interest for your show. Sounds very intellectual, very interesting, and like stimulating to, have this all going on. What a great opportunity that Aaron and Adam are offering, and the Swine Gallery, the Arc. And, as the host of the Art Beat of Chattanooga, I'm pretty much over the moon excited because, like you're saying, this isn't only Chattanooga. We're Chattanooga and beyond. Chattanooga is only a portion of this beautiful world full of art and ideas and creativity that now, you were mentioning earlier, and we're going to so run out of time, but you were talking about how these ideas stimulate further things in life. And now the education system is booting it out of our schools. So, I'm hoping at some point we can all work together to really make a caucus that we need to have this in the schools for our society's growth.
Right. Yeah, no, this is, as a previous educator, I really think that there's a lot of things about the way that we think and we interact with the world, and to say that this is only STEM or the science, math kind of thing. I think whenever you start narrowing the world down into that kind of productive level, then you start turning people into machines at some point. And wow, that sounds really awful when I say it like that.
We are the Borg. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's one of these things that there's so much more to the world.
These are not the droids you're looking for. So we're not going to be assimilated. We're going to just move ahead, and it's an exciting field. It's an exciting time here in Chattanooga and the world. And I truly believe we're having a modern renaissance, and that there's a really rebirth going on of art in Chattanooga and beyond. So I'm very excited to have you here, and we're basically almost out of time. So we're here with Ryder Richards from Dallas, Texas, and he's the first visiting artist in the ARC program, and this is connected to the Swine Gallery downtown on Main Street, which is also kind of pretty connected to the Cinerama, which is amazing. Great shows, comedy, improv, movies, very eclectic. I suggest you visit it. It's very affordable as well. So you'll meet a lot of really great people. So we're going to have Ryder back in probably 3 weeks or so, and as long as he's willing to come back.
Oh yeah, no, this is great.
And then he'll have some work from Chattanooga inspiration.
Right.
And I'd also like to come and do a little Facebook feed at your show. So thank you so much for joining us today, Ryder, on the Art Beat of Chattanooga, Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. I'm your host, Jillian Collins, and it's really good to be back. Love you guys. See you next week, or actually see you in like 10 minutes because I got another segment.
Wars come and go, but my soldiers stay eternal.
Now you can listen to Hot News Talk Radio anywhere streaming live at Noogaradio.com. That's Noogaradio.com.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Wow, we're not in Kansas anymore. Check out all these awesome guitars, amps, pedals, banjos, and so much more.
Suddenly, you're transported. You are on stage. Anticipation. Your fans are counting on you. You begin to play. Ecstasy, excitement, artistry and chaos, thundering applause, rock and roll.
Charvel, Gretsch, Supro, Jackson, EVH. Fulfill your dreams. Guitar, piano lessons, and more. Located at the corner of Boy Scout and Middle Valley Road in Soddy Daisy. Judah Guitar Music Store, where all your wildest dreams come true. Call 423-618-9911. Judah Guitar Music Store, where all your wildest dreams come true.
This is Mike at For the Record at Northgate Mall. We're the largest complete record store in town. We sell old and new vinyl records, celebrity posters, music posters, and we are the largest in town. Come see us.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
When you crack your screen, mess up your charge port, you get soaked in a rainstorm, what do? Save money, save big, fix it, get surgery. There's a cell phone hospital near you. It's the Cell Surgeon. Adam Disbro, the man in white, he replaces your screen, fixes your buttons, gives you back Twitter, Facebook, your online universe. Walk-in patients go to Cell Surgeon in Ottawa. Cell Surgeon is new in Ottawa, next to Zaxby's. Other docs in the cell repair business are just lab coats. The doc at Cell Surgeon is the best. He wants you to be happy, fix your phone, save money, and save time. Every minute is valuable, and Cell Surgeon doesn't want to waste a second. Your wireless MD, the Cell Surgeon, quick and precise with your device. Takes an hour or less. Northgate Mall, Cell Surgeon next to Old Chicago Pizza, 900-8263, thecellsurgeon.com. Like him on Facebook.
You used to call me on my... You used to. Money, nothing like some man. I want to buy in the sky.
On your signature, you can get $150,000. Can you believe that? $150,000 on your signature. Hi, I'm Bruce Krebs with the Entrepreneur Source. There's a program right now that you can get $150,000 on your signature with no pledge of collateral or personal guarantee. Call me at 423-875-5621 to learn more. 423-875-5621. You've been thinking about starting a business? Don't do it on your own. I have a proven track record for the last 13 years, a 96% success rate. I can guide you into a franchise where you will pay yourself through the startup phase with very low or little risk. Call me now. I'm Bruce Krebs at 423-875-5621. And make sure to listen to the Entrepreneur Hour every other Wednesday from 11 to 12 o'clock. Call me now, 875-5621.
Money, nothing like some man. I want to buy in the sky.
Our house in the middle of our street. Our house.
Hi,
I'm Sabrina with Sabrina Realty Associates. Now is a great time to sell your home. In our area, inventory is at an all-time low, which translates into higher sales prices. Call us today at 423-499-7780 to set up a free consultation and discuss our unique and aggressive marketing programs. We will provide you with a free market analysis to determine the right value of your home. Call us today at 423-499-7780 or visit our website at sabrinarealty.com.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. A brush fire blazes on in Signal Mountain, Tennessee. Firefighters in the Forestry Service are doing all they can to keep it under control. Helicopters have been dumping water on it from a nearby lake, and it looks like it's contained for now. Some residents of the area say they can see the blaze from their back porches. Distracted driving leads to deadly crash. A woman from Chattanooga who had already been convicted for theft and drug paraphernalia charges has been indicted now on multiple more criminal charges, including vehicular homicide, texting while driving, and DUI. Police say the grisly accident happened Wednesday afternoon. The woman's bond has been set at $50,000. The community of Lookout Mountain has abandoned the free market and decided to ban short-term rentals. The most popular short-term rental service is Airbnb. People in Lookout Mountain say that they have banned the service for safety concerns. City Councilman and candidate for Mayor Larry Groen proposed a controversial idea: beer sales in movie theaters. Now, beer sales have already happened in privately rented movie theaters, but this will be new for general access movie theaters. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
Warming up out there through your afternoon, mostly sunny skies, highs of around 80. Tonight, a few clouds, not as cool, lows into the mid and upper 50s. For Friday, increasing clouds, still looking dry, highs upper 70s with a spotty shower or two possible late Friday night through Saturday morning. See the rock stars of aviation at the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show, October 29th and 30th in Rome, Georgia. For the performer lineup, more information and tickets, visit wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm Swarm Gene 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Welcome back to the Heartbeat of Chattanooga, Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. I'm Jillian Collins, your host, and I'm excited to be back from my special assignment from 2 weeks off in another city. So I'm here with Russell today, and he is, I always say Russell Crowe, but that's not his real name. But Russell is also a host on the radio station, and today we're just going to kind of talk the rest of the show about art and hopefully sarcasm, poetry. We're just going to kind of banter. So feel free to call in 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949. You can see us at hotnewstalkradio.com on YouTube, and you can also see us posting our YouTube feed on our Facebook page, Hot News Talk Radio, in a little bit here. So, you know, I'm really excited to be back. We just had a wonderful guest, Ryder Richards, who's here in a visiting artist program from Dallas, Texas, and he's here with the ARC, which is the Artist Residents of Chattanooga program, started up by the Swine Gallery and that active, energetic part of the community artists that we have here. So we're going to follow him a little bit. We're going to have him back in 3 weeks, and then we're going to also talk about his show that's coming up, and I'll probably do a Facebook feed for you of his show so you can see what his art perceptions are after being here in Chattanooga and meeting the residents, the city, and the beauty that we have here. So that's really exciting. So I kind of dragged Russell out of the office today. We've got a lot going on. You're going to see a lot of activity, exciting times all over the world here at the station.
It turns out I'm actually a contractor now too. I do construction work.
Yes. And do you get paid for that too?
No, of course not.
Right. That's just added on work, right? So
don't be silly.
Multitaskers, you know. So yeah, Russell is a fun guy here at the station. We have a lot of fun here at Hot News Talk Radio, and we're a family, and you know, we're always excited to talk about local business, local community, and I can't really say the place, but I'm involved with a new store coming that's going to feature a lot of local artisans and local food, specialty foods. And Chattanooga is very focused on local entrepreneurism, community ideas, and that's kind of the station's base, and mine as well in the Art Beat of Chattanooga, although it all reaches beyond into the world for all of us. But, you know, we are here in Chattanooga and we love it. So, you know, we always want to promote that. And I know I just been buried in work, and the fire that's going up on Signal Mountain, I know Russell was talking about that. I'm really sorry for the residents up there and, you know, nearby, and that it's affecting. So we're sending out prayers and energy for you for that it's soon out. So Russell, you know, you guys brought me on board here, eclectic artist in a conservative based radio station.
Isn't it strange?
It is strange, right? So it's been a journey so far.
I hope so. We always try to make things as exciting as possible here.
Right. So I know you basically live here, right, at the station?
Not basically. I almost literally live here.
Yeah. You come in, you see a pillow and a blanket.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It means I've had a late night.
Yeah, a late night. What do you do here, Russell, at night?
Well, you know, things involving audio, I'm sure.
So you're secretly producing radio at night and feeding it all over the world with some underground show or something?
Yeah, I got a little pirate radio station.
That's awesome. I love it. So you know, so we got a lot going on here at Hot News Talk Radio. We're very excited. And so Russell, you know, what's your basic experience with art?
My experience with art. That's an interesting question. I never thought of it that way. My mom is a writer, so I'm a little bit familiar with just writing in general from that. She was going to be an English major in college. She decided to drop out, which I think was probably a good idea, actually. College is not really a thing in our family. So she did a lot of freelance work. She wrote a few novels. So I'm familiar with art in the writing sense in that way. My sister is very gifted at drawing. I am not. So I get to see the stuff she does all the time and wish I was as good at drawing as she is. But my experience with art, I'd say, is I think editing ads is a form of art. I would say, just in the sense of audio manipulation. I think of it in my head as art, and I think that's important to making your work good, is to think of it as a form of art. So that's my experience, I would say.
Yeah, I've been in that booth with you recording, and it is an art. We have to create the ad. You have to voice the ad, and then you have to put it all together electronically and, you know, make it attractive and sound good. And the definition of art that we shared way back in the beginning of the show, that we're producing something to evoke an emotion in another person. So you are certainly an artist in that sense. So
well, that's marketing, isn't it?
It is. It's marketing, and it is an art. You know, what we're doing here, this is an art form. The radio is part of the broadcasting. It's part, to me, of art.
Sure.
So I think that's great. And it's a lot of fun, too, doing commercials and writing commercials and producing them. I'm not technical like you are. I lose it right there. But
yeah. Well, if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, you may as well just quit at that point. It's not worth doing, I'd say.
To a point. I mean, there is the whole rent thing, paychecks.
Sure.
Always moving forward, of course, to our goals of enjoying what you do. And I know that you love doing this, and that's why you're here pretty much 24/7.
Pretty much. I spend as much time here as I can.
Yeah. So that's awesome. And you help out a lot. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Russell shows me there's, you know, you don't see this end of it, but there's a lot of buttons and things. And half the time I'll miss a phone call or something because there's just a lot of buttons here. And these guys know all this stuff. So that's an art, just to even know these soundboards and these computers and all of that. That's,
the knobs and dials and steam gauges and everything.
Yeah, I know some of my musician friends actually are so in love with their soundboards and their, I don't know what they're called, their guitar pedal boards.
Oh, the pedal boards, yeah.
That they literally create those as a piece of art. They put photos on them. They put logos, designs, words. They literally, these are art to the musicians.
Oh, sure. Yeah. People buy pedal kits. You can buy kits that you can buy and you solder them together yourself. And it's sort of a spiritual experience for a lot of people to make electronics. So
yeah,
combine that with music. And
that's it's part of their, this broadcasting is part of how we get our avenue to speak to the world. And for artists, that's their electronic part of getting their message out. So I know I worked with a gentleman from Planet, PLVVNET, and he would bring his pictures or his boards to work. They were like little babies. You know? You're like, look at this. You know? And it was just great. I love it. So yeah, a lot of people may think artists are one thing, like a painter, or a drawer, or whatever. It's such a broad spectrum. Dancing, music, writing. I even brought poetry today. If I feel like being super boring, I'll read you a poem.
It's not boring if it's good, and then I've read over it and I think it is good. So.
It's all part of it. Well, I'll read it, So this is the book that I illustrated for Fred Ballou. We worked together for about 2 years on this book. He worked for about 15 on the writing. And then we kind of collaborated on the rest of the illustrations and things in here for 2 years. And this is a great book of poems. It's something current that, is not happening that much these days. You can barely find poetry books in stores. If you go to the bookstore, poetry section's like tiny, if at all. Oh, phone? We got a phone call?
We do.
Thank you, Russell.
Sure thing.
Hi, welcome to Hot News Talk Radio.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
I should have put the theme in. Welcome back in the place where, remember that? Welcome back, Connor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who am I speaking with here?
Russell's been there like almost 5 years, and let me tell you,
Is this Sab?
since he was a kid, like 16,
Is this Sab?
does everything. I mean,
Hi, Sab.
Hey, he'll do like everything from developing the news in the morning, which he's become a great newsman. He's gathering the skills to be a radio station owner. And why he'd want to do that, I don't know, because he's a little crazy. But so now he can gather the news, he produces the news, produces the 1 minute newscast, he does affidavits, does commercials, and even when we need stuff built, you'll see him with a hammer in his hand.
Are you writing this down for his resume so he can maybe apply for a job in Washington, D.C. or something?
Like in front of him, I'm always like busting his stones and telling him what a doofus he is.
It's true.
But between you and me, he really is a good guy.
Oh, well,
he really does everything that's asked and he goes beyond that. But don't tell him I said that because he really is a doofus.
Yeah, I turned his his earphones off.
I'm glad you're back with Heartbeat because last week and the weeks that you haven't been there, it was called Fartbeat.
Well, no, Steve Disbrow from Chattanooga Improv, I think, did a great job with the clowns. Oh, we lost you. All right. Thanks for calling. So we're going to praise Russell Day. So woo, Russell, he really is a huge asset in the station. And I dragged him in here. So I thought maybe Sab called in so I couldn't read the poem. So I'm going to do it before he can object.
Just despite him.
So I have a kind of a book of poems I've been writing since I was 12 years old. And I remember the first poem I ever wrote by heart. But I took English in school and everything, but I don't write traditional pentameter and the rules exactly. Right. I write by what I feel is the flow. So this is one I wrote a couple of years ago, and this is the title of the book that I'm going to produce. A Restless Heart. Upon the wooden path I trod, through forest, river, and field, the azure sky beheld my gaze, to its beauty I did yield. The sense surrounding nature's abode wafted through the knoll, enthralling songs of birds arose, making the rapture whole. On yonder path I spied a creature as it darted behind a bush. Timid, shivering, afraid, I knew I must not push. Time stood still upon that day, resting in that little glade, waiting on this forlorn waif to see if I could aid. Slowly like a flower unfurling, step by step she came, sunlight dampling her entrancing form. Suddenly nothing was the same. Within that forest glen we sat, looking beyond the soul, into enchantments hidden from man, the past and future she stole. Little beguiling creature, do you have a name? Will you utter peace to me that inside I might gain? The morning mist was dissipating in shimmering, sparkling light. In a moment she was gone. Now begins my plight. Upon the sweetest summer days, I am drawn back to that place, to wander with a restless heart, just to seek her face.
Hey, that's really good. I like that.
Thanks, Russell. Yeah, I've got a lot of them, and they're fun, and I just like them. And now, as far as like art interaction, producing something like a book or corroborating with another artist, it produces what I call a supernova of energy and art creation. And so I encourage any artists, work with other artists, go to workshops, things like that, because that feeding of creativity, even having Russell in here in the room with me, this would not be as much fun if it was just me. So it's just a really cool thing. And yeah, so I'm going to start boring you with a poem here and there. And you're welcome to also respond if you think they're terrible or good. So
no, I thought that one was really good. It's very, like you say, it evokes emotion. So it works. It works very well as a poem and as a piece of art too.
Yeah. And it was truly written from an emotional place in my life that seemed very, very real.
Yeah.
So
that's where the best artwork comes from.
Yeah, it was very real. And that's the cool thing about creativity, like Ryder was speaking about, everything we think it's intellectual. Mm-hmm. It isn't only technical, it's intellectual. Anyone can do art. You can cut up a magazine and make a collage. You don't have to know how to draw.
Sure.
You can use words, so many things, anything. So I always encourage people, just try something. You don't have to show anyone.
Well, there was an artist you had in not too long ago who was putting, and I sorry, I forget names, you'll remember, but she put dirt and sticks and things on a scanner. And that always stuck with me. That's just such a cool idea.
Claire Bloomfield, and
Claire,
she
yeah.
is amazing. There was just an article in Pulse about her. She's one of this up-and-coming group of artists that she's so creative.
It was just so cool to see that. I was thinking, like, man, I wish I was that smart to think about that.
The image she gets are amazing to me.
Yeah.
And I want to have her back. She did a show at the Swine Gallery, a individual show just recently, and I really love her pieces. I think she's going places.
Yeah, definitely.
You just like the guests because they're cute. I bring in all these cute artists, and Russell's always appreciative, So,
that may play a factor, but that's not
I
why
hope
I
your
like
girlfriend is not listening.
No, fortunately, probably not.
We just goof off around here a little bit.
That's all we do around here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all we do. You don't see any work going on at all.
Our work is play. And it's funny you say that because we can hear drills going on in the next to us, in the room next to us.
Yeah, I've been gone for 2 weeks. I come back, the place looks like a bomb went off. There's equipment everywhere and there's construction. I'm like, boy, guys, I can't even leave. I come back and it's what happened here. But it's all good and exciting, and we're not going to tell our secrets right now, but it's exciting times.
Very exciting stuff going on.
Yep. So I do want to mention Faces Unmasked is coming up, and artists can still submit to that at the Hart Gallery up to October 15th. And you can just Google that, Faces Unmasked, on your computer. But this is the National Craniofacial Foundation. This supports that foundation. And some of these children that are born have to have surgeries all the way from infancy through teenage years to reconstruct their literal skull or face. And this particular event is going to support 75 to 135 families, helping with travel, information of things, avenues that can assist them further, and just support. Submit a piece. They're asking for a concept, not necessarily a mask. Faces Unmasked. These are people who are coming out into their life, and they're born with a craniofacial deformity, and they are beautiful people, and we're happy they're here, and we want to show support and give money towards these families who can be benefited by this. So if you still want to do a piece and submit it, you can submit that through October 15th. Just go Google the Faces Unmasked to get all the information. And if you do submit a piece, you get to attend the event free.
Oh.
So I encourage that you check into that and support this foundation, the National Craniofacial Foundation. So we had someone on from that a few weeks ago, and it's absolutely amazing. So again, there's so many events in Chattanooga and so many nonprofit events supporting foundations and people and concepts. And it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So that is another thing that I have a big dream concerning that whole foundation that I haven't really released yet, but it's kind of near and dear to my heart. And I encourage people to look for the events connected to that as well. And to, reach out to people, reach out to women, look for art relating to that and stories relating to that. So let's support women and the Breast Cancer Awareness Month too. So, I know that's not a popular subject, but I know people, young women who are dealing with it right now with little children in their lives. And it's a difficult diagnosis. So, let's be aware of that this month too.
Well, Jill, we got 5 minutes or so. Do you want to talk about your paintings you brought in?
Okay, sure. You want to grab the couple of them, the first
Sure.
two over here? I was asked to do some mock-ups for a potential mural, which the corporate company decided not to do anything in the space, but it produced it. These are the pieces I did for that. And it's a really different style than I've ever done. So anyone who can't see, they're acrylic, but they look like watercolor on canvas, and they're drawn quickly with a Payne's gray. And all of these paintings have red awnings, red umbrellas, and they could be Chattanooga or they could reflect another city. And also in every painting, there is a black poodle somewhere. So it's kind of like find the poodle, where's Wally?
Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? Where's the poodle? And it's just kind of been happening. It's just something fun that I wanted to share. And for those of you who are watching and can see on YouTube, this is a very fun, lively city painting with kind of a fashion girl with a hat and a teal scarf in the foreground, and these figures of the poodles and umbrellas and awnings reoccur in each painting, and they're just kind of a European feeling fun series of paintings that I thought I'd just share. And they're not hanging anywhere but at my house right now because I'm still working on the series. So can you grab the one in the gold frame and the
Sure.
one you like? Russell encouraged me with this painting. I did this. There's a couple sitting under an umbrella, and these are kind of progressive. It starts with a city scene, and then I move to each scene kind of is closer, more personal. And this is like the third painting in the series. And now they're under the umbrella holding hands, and there's a poodle coming along. But I did not like this piece, and I brought it into work for whatever reason, and Russell responded to it and liked it.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
I thought it looked like a couple zombies, you know, but it promoted me to, okay, I'm going to retain this piece in the series for now. And it's funny because it's one of everybody's favorites. And I look at it thinking it's very primitive, and yet it must have something. What do you know? Can you describe anything about what speaks to you about the painting? Why you like it?
It's hard to explain, but it's a feeling of solitude, but not, if that makes any sense. When I look at it, I think of being alone, but not. So it's kind of like being alone with someone you want to be alone with. And it does evoke that sort of emotion, which is one that I'm very fond of. So I think that's why a lot of people have responded very well to it.
Mm-hmm. That's neat.
I think it's more of an introverted painting. Maybe that's why I like it so much, because I'm more of an introverted kind of guy.
Yeah, it is. And it was meant, there's like, I used some cadmium yellow to almost represent a glow where their hands are touching instead of like drawing it out. You know, I tried to work with just a color feeling. So sometimes art is very simple and not a lot of technical things. I do that too, but this is a really fun, flowing, easy series that I'm pretty excited about. And anyone who likes black poodles, you can play Find the Poodle here. So great. Well, so we only have about 1 minute and 47 seconds. Can you tell me, Russell, if you've ever done a piece of art that you still think was good, or that you even retain it in your possession still?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I actually have. I have done, it's not really collage art, but it's like Photoshop-y type stuff. Mm-hmm. And I did this one that I really, really like. It's a bunch of Greek statues and arranged in a particular way, and it just turned out in a way that I really liked. So I'm kind of proud of that one. It's online somewhere.
Okay, very cool. How long ago would you say you did that?
Like 2-3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. Did you ever print it out?
No, I've never printed it out. I don't have a high enough resolution printer to do that.
You should send it to me. I'll get it printed out so we can take a look.
Oh, okay, I'll send it to you. Why not?
We'll show Russell's on here too. So I encourage you to watch the YouTube feed. If you're listening and you're not able to view the YouTube right now, it is kind of fun. We do show a lot of fun things on this show because it's about art. So I try to bring in visual things that we can talk about and see, and I try to describe them, but I know you can't really see it. So I invite you to go on our Hot News Talk Radio website and go into our YouTube archives and check out some of the previous shows of the Art Beat of Chattanooga, and support where we're trying to go with this. You know, join together in building the arts in Chattanooga and beyond. Bring artists to Chattanooga, sharing our city, our thoughts, what's special about us here. And, you know, I really appreciate if you want to come on the show and you have an interesting cause or something exciting going on in the realm, get a hold of the station. Just go on Facebook and email us or message, and I'll get back with you and we'll see if we can get you on the show, because that's what it's about. Connecting with you guys, connecting with Chattanooga and beyond. We're having a renaissance here, a modern renaissance, and we in Chattanooga believe that we are leading it. So join us in that. And thank you, Russell. It was great. Really happy to be back with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next week as well. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining the Art Beat of Chattanooga.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. I'm Larry Daniels from Daniels Insurance, and on the average, our customers save $400 a year. We offer retirement vehicles and annuities in addition to other investment products that help you protect your family. Call 423-332-4774.
Listen up, y'all. Ben Phillips, Home Rate Mortgage, 805-9100. I'm in the business of saving people money. And if you want to save money, pick that cell phone up right now, 805-9100. I received a call that I won't forget. The guy is a Chattanooga police officer who served our great country in the Air Force. A true American hero. Our hero is renting, which costs too much for a space too small. We helped him achieve the American dream. And the best part is this. He purchased a $180,000 home with zero down. His payment is $200 less than what his rent was. And now he has a safe place with more space to raise his family. It's easy, and you can do it too. It just takes 10 minutes and one phone call. 805-9100.
Turn a house into a home.
Bill's Smoke Shop in Saudi Daisy has everything to please your good taste. It's across from the Hardys in Saudi Daisy. Come visit Bina. She has all kinds of